Vardy's in, Jamie Vardy's in, he's going to be a goal! Yes! Hello and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses. I hope you are doing well on this Thursday evening. Of course, we are one day away from our match against Nottingham Forest, which means we are back with a lineup prediction video, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know. Evening to Clibbo. Hope you're doing well, mate. Kunal is here. Hello to Kunal and Leicester Fan TV Tom. Even Locks. Evening to you, mate. Craig says hi, Locks from a sunny Lanzarote. Up the Foxes, mate. Hope you're having a nice holiday over there, pal. Or do you live there? Don't know. Let me know. As I said, today it is all about predicting that lineup. Dallas Foxes, Craig, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Same to you as well, Joe. Mavadidio Fatawu Ronick says, please, this stream is all about me and you building this team. So get your comments in as much as possible. Each position we go through, just keep putting your comments in. Let me know who you want to see in the lineup. Here is our trusted friend lineup builder as always. Before we do get into it, please, if you don't mind, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe. I'm sure you all have already. And just to let people know as well, you can become a member on this channel. If you do want to become a member, if you're watching on YouTube on your browser or laptop, computer, there's a join button underneath this video and you can become a member. Anyway, let's get into it. So what we're going to do, what we do every single week, is we put together a team that we as fans want to see. This is all about, the first part of this video is about what we want to see. Later on, we will then put together the team that we think we will see from Steve Cooper. So there's two parts to this video. The first part is building the team we want. The second team is what we think Cooper will go with. So what I do like to do every single week is go with the obvious ones. Now, for me, the first obvious one I go with every single week is, of course, Mads Hermansson. I don't think Steve Cooper would be bold enough to drop Mads Hermansson for Danny Ward or Daniel Everson or someone like that. Of course, we all know Mads Hermansson will be starting in goal. I do also like to go for Jamie Vardy as another obvious one, of course. Again, this is all about what we want to see. There will be some people that are bold and say, look, I want to see Odsonne Edouard maybe, or Patson Daka when he's fit. But I think in this instance, everyone in the chat will agree that that is the striker that we would like to see start against Nottingham Forest tomorrow night. And then it gets a little bit more tricky. Where do we go next? I want to start with the back line, of course. So everybody, who do you want to see as the centre-back pairing tomorrow night against Forest? Is it Caleb Okoli and Wout Faes? Is it Wout Faes, I don't know, maybe James Justin as a centre-back, Connor Cody? Vestergaard is injured, so we know he won't be there. Is it Okoli? Is it Faes? Start letting me know now, please, in the chat. We will see if there are anyone bold enough to suggest anything different to what we've seen over the last few weeks, which is, of course, Okoli and Faes. But please put your comments in as much as possible. Joe reckons, good evening. Zaid says, good evening. Clibbo says Faes and Okoli. Andrea says Okoli and Faes. Tom says the same. Ant says the same. Craig says the same. Everyone says the same. Everyone says the same. So that's what we will go with. Obviously, Okoli does tend to play on the left of the back two there. And next to him is, of course, Wout Faes. I did think that would be another two easy ones. Okay, I think the only really easy one left to put in here is Facundo Buonanotte. I'm not saying that the others aren't easy. I'm not saying that, Fatawu shouldn't start. I'm not saying that, but Facundo Buonanotte is our best player at the moment, so he's got to be in there. Where does everybody want to see Facundo Buonanotte start? Do they want to see Facundo Buonanotte start in the 10, or do they want to see him out wide? I think I know the answer to this, but where would you like to see Facundo Buonanotte? All right, to you, Clemo, mate. Hope you are doing well. A number 10, Joe says, Henry says the cam, so yeah, the number 10 as well. Andreas agrees, so does Craig, so does Kunal. So yeah, everyone is saying Craig as well. Yeah, so everybody's saying they want Facundo in the 10. Please Again, this team we're building right now at this moment in time is what we want to see as fans. So everybody's opinion matters. If you do have a differing opinion, don't be afraid to say. We will discuss it. Fakundu will start as a right mid, in my opinion. Yeah, so no matter what we think will happen, we're going to come to that soon, Zaid. So for now, it's what we want to see. So there we go. Where do we go next, ladies and gentlemen? Where do we go next in this team? Shall we say the fullbacks? Where does everyone want to see? Now, what I'll do is I'll take the initiative and I'll show you what I want to see, and then we'll move it around. And then we'll move it around if we need to. This is what I want to see, people. There we go. That's what I want to see. Who disagrees? Who would like to see something different? Again, this isn't what we think Cooper will pick. This is just what people in the chat want to see. What would you like to see? Andreas agrees with me. So does Henry. So there's two people that agree with me. Joe's also in agreement. Is there anybody, please? I'm calling all of you in the chat to tell me, is there anybody in the chat who doesn't want to see that selection of fullbacks there? Does anybody want VK instead of Justin? Craig does. JJ and Victor Craig wants. He doesn't want Ricardo. He doesn't want Ricardo. Chris looked a bit off Saturday. Kuno says, don't think this is the right game for Ricardo due to lack of game time. This is the dream fullback that we will never get to see, sadly. It is a shame. It is a shame. It is a big shame. That should be the back five. If we play a back five, okay. Agree 100%. Henry says, yeah, so it looks like majority of people are agreeing that they want to see JJ and Ricardo Pereira. There are a couple that are saying Victor. There are a couple for sure. There are also a couple of people who are just saying it's not the right game. JJ is better at left back. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So it does seem like we're going to stick with this for now. So we'll stick with that for now. Then we get to the wingers. So please speak up if anyone is upset with this, but I'm going to do this right away. Okay, is anybody not happy with this selection of wingers? Please start talking to me now. Please start talking to me now. I'd rather have JJ at left back than Ricky at right back. Joe says Fatawu and Mavididi, which is obviously what we've gone for. Is anybody not happy? Joe says team spot on, mate. I think so too. Andreas is saying Mav and Fat. Just joined to enjoy the show. Shout out to Binoy, who's been doing some graphics and stuff. Thank you so much on Twitter. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. Dallas Fox says Craig says Locks manager of the month. Craig says Fatawu and Mavididi. A lot of people are saying the same thing. Again, please let me know if you disagree. Does anybody want to see something different? Does anybody want an IU? Does anybody want a, and I say this nicely, Bobby De Cordova-Reid? No, I don't think so. Nobody wants Bobby De Cordova-Reid, do they? Nobody wants De Cordova-Reid. It's a bit mean, isn't it? It's a bit mean. Anyway, Fatawu and Mavididi, Craig says. Ronick says, and Ndidi and Winks in the midfield. We're going to move on to that now. So this is an interesting one for me. So I'm going to put what I want. I think we need to play Ndidi. I think it's undeniable. I think we have to play Wilfred Ndidi. He is undroppable. He has the most tackles. He has the most aerials won. He has the most assists in the Leicester squad. He's covering more ground than a lot of players, most of the players. For me, he has to be in this team, especially with the team we've selected. We need that physicality, a little bit of physicality in the midfield. So let me know what you think to Ndidi being in there. The big question is, who do we want as a collective to go on the left? Because I honestly don't know what the answer to this question is going to be. So because of that, I am going to have to resort to a poll. I haven't asked it in the chat yet, but I'm going to have to do it because I know there's going to be some big disagreements. And I think this is going to be quite close, but we'll have to see. So in midfield next to Ndidi, Winks or Skip? Okay, everybody, there is now a poll in the chat. Please start answering the poll. You've got a couple minutes. Winks can come on and do a madness. Also, Andreas wants to see Winks. Clibo says, I don't get why people are against Ndidi starting. Winks can come on. Wilf was awful, tracking back against Southampton, but I'd still start him tomorrow. Craig says Winks and Ndidi. Clibo1 says Ndidi and Winks. Kunal says Ndidi and Skip. Ndidi and Winks. Andreas says, Clemo says, yeah, I'd start those wingers, but if they're not hitting it off, I'd like us to be happy with subbing on Ayu. Yeah, I'm in agreement, mate. Fair enough. I'd start with Ndidi and Skip in the double pivot. Ronick says Ndidi and Winks in midfield. So yeah, there we go. I'm just going to have a little sneak peek at the poll and see what it's saying. The poll is saying 60% to Harry Winks at the moment. I'm going to leave it running for a couple, for probably another minute or so. Obviously, this is the team that we've put together so far. If anybody missed what I said at the start, just to let people know, we are building our team as fans, what we want to see. And then afterwards, we will put in the players that we think Cooper will go with. So this is obviously the team we've gone with so far. We just need to find that final player in midfield next to Ndidi. Winks is a game changer if we need to go all guns blazing. Feel if we start Winks, we'd be too open when Forest counter-attack. Very interesting point, Ragsy, mate. Very interesting point. Okay, I have ended the poll and it has finished 59%. Sorry, 58% have gone for Winks. So that is who we are going to put into this team. Harry Winks, or Harry Wanks, as some people call him, unfortunately, fans from other clubs. Okay, people, so this is the team that we as fans have come together in the chat and agreed on. Obviously, there's a couple of players that people wanted, like Christensen or Skip, but this is the one that we have ended up on as a collective. Now it is time to look at who we think we will see, who Steve Cooper will pick for tomorrow night. What I want to do is ask the chat. So people in the chat, please start now. Who is the obvious one? Who is the obvious one that you think Steve Cooper is not going to play him and he's going to hit this guy instead? I think I know who it's going to be. I think it's going to be the right back, of course. I think Ricardo Pereira is going to be on the bench. But start letting me know now what is Cooper going to do? Clemo says Christensen. Clibo says usual backline. I do agree. I think that is what we'll see. Anil says team of 11 Jordan Ayus. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Ayu will start for Fats. Fatawu to Ayu. Mavididi might not start. This is what I think. Remember, I'm asking you for all your opinions, but at the very end, I will select what I think. You leave Jordan out of this. I'm not going to leave Jordan out of it, mate. I'm not going to leave Jordan out of it. Craig says same back line. Giza says Ndidi always seems to be poor first half. Andreas says Christensen, Jordan, Ayu. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just, for time reasons, move that over there, that there. Let's sort this out now and put in Christensen. Okay, I'll show you what I think we're going to see. That's what I think we're going to see. That is what I think we're going to see. Now, who is in disagreement with me? I think this is what we will see tomorrow night against Nottingham Forest. I think personally that we'll obviously stick with the same back four. It's the back four that we've had pretty much every game recently. I know that we had Vestergaard at the start of the season, but since Okoli came in, this has been what we've seen so far over the last few games. I think Abdul Fatawu has to start no matter what. So that's why I think Cooper will cave in. I think Cooper will have to cave in and play him. And then on the left, we know that Steve Cooper doesn't like to play these two fast, dynamic wingers together, as in Fatawu and Mavididi. So I think he will now drop Mavididi because Fatawu is the performer, I suppose, out wide. And he will have to bring in Jordan Ayew because he's on Cooper's payroll or Cooper's on Jordan Ayew's payroll, whichever way around it is. It's annoying. It's really annoying. I'm not a fan of it. We all want to see Mavididi and Fatawu starting together. We haven't seen it in a game yet, but history tells us, as Ragsy says, if we're talking from history, he'll play your 11, but I really don't know what Cooper Trooper is going to do. Super Cooper is a fucking pooper. Clemo says, "What is this Ayu slander?" It's no slander. It's no slander, but it should be Mavididi and Fatawu. Undebatably for me, it has to be Fatawu and Mavididi, and it won't be. It'll be Ayu or Decordova Reed instead of Mavididi, in my opinion. Again, I could be wrong, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Please don't play Fatawu on the right. Really? Don't play him on the right. That's where he always plays. That's his position. Fatawu will start as a right back to push forward, and Justin as a left back to be a third centre back. It's not Ayu slander. He's a great impact sub, just not a starter. Ragsy says. Oh, sorry. Clibo means don't play him on the left. I'd rather Mavididi and Fatawu, but Ayu is a good player. Nothing like Bobby. Yeah, I know. Could we possibly see this then? Could we see that? Will he play Fatawu on the left? Will he be a stupid little man, Steve Cooper, that we've seen in the past? Will he play Fatawu on the left just so he can get Jordan Ayu in his on his preferred side? I don't know. Personally, I think this is what we should see. I think Cooper will, not go overboard and play Fatawu on the left. The other question I've got, and here is an interesting one. This has been a bit of a discussion this week. Is there any chance that we see something like this? Could we see something like this with maybe a Bilal El Khanous here maybe, and you've kind of got a back, out of possession, a back four like this. And then we obviously all move over. Fatawu gets forward. You've got Buonanotte coming off the inside. Maybe you've got Mavididi there on the left, Jordan Ayew there. This could happen as well. Let me know what you think. 3 at the back. I like it. Ayew centre, Andreas says. Yeah, it could be BCD to start. Otherwise, we'll have 2 left wingers on the bench in Mavs. I mean, look, you never know. I give Cooper slander a lot of the time, but is there any way at all on earth that we saw something like this? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we lined up like something like this? That would be absolutely nuts. Or you could even maybe go for maybe like that, and then go for an Oliver Skip here. In that, doing that means that Skip doesn't have to be dropped. What about that there? So like in possession, you're looking at a kind of 4-2-3-1 out of possession, and then of course in possession, maybe you've got like a bit more of a similar looking system to last season, with Winks and Skip there as the double pivot, Justin as like a left back, left centre back, Fatawu as a right back, but then coming forward here. Ideally, we'd want a Ricardo Pereira just to invert into midfield, but as we know, he doesn't like Ricardo Pereira. So could we just see Fatawu taking up a right back slot moving forward? It's an interesting topic. It'll be interesting to see if this ever did happen under Steve Cooper. I'm not sure if it could. Ragsy says 3-2-4-1. Mads, Fast, Okoli, JJ back 3, Ricardo and Winks double pivot, Mavididi, Facundo, and Didi, Fatawu and Vardy up top. Bring back Enzo Ball. I think this is the one we will see. Zay says interesting. Scarlett says, I think we'll be too exposed in this league for a back 3 versus the better sides. Clemo says this is beautiful. Craig says attacking fullbacks, and Henry says it won't happen. I agree. I don't think this will ever happen. Not starting a game. Maybe if he got desperate like he did against Southampton. But I don't think it's a bad option really to have here. You want Ndidi really on that side because he linked up so well with Fatawu last season. But I mean, even that, like this, it's really not a bad, out of possession like this, out of possession. And then when we move in possession, everyone comes across, Fatawu gets forward, the back line come across and create that back 3. It's beautiful. If this is how we should be playing football in my eyes, but this is Steve Cooper, so we just don't know. We really, really don't know. Keep getting your comments in. Is there anyone I've forgotten about? Anyone I've missed? Anyone I've any topic you want to talk about? Start getting them in now, and we'll go through them all. It's not Fatawu Slander. He's a great impact sub. Yeah, 100%, mate. That just means Forest will shut down Fatawu because it's not Ayew, and Ayew is not worth defending. I agree. This is the problem we've got. It's like when we only play one of the wingers, we've seen it time and time again. The opposition just double up on Mavididi. They just double up on Mavididi. Whereas if you've got Fatawu on the other side, the back line, the opposition are panicking because they're like, right, we've got this guy over here who's already a handful. And now we've got this guy over here, Fatawu, who's an even bigger handful. What do we do? And it just helps everyone out. It would help Fatawu out with them both being on the pitch. It would help Mavididi out with them both being on the pitch. If only one of them are on, they're a bit more under pressure because then the away team can double up. It's not good at all. Palace fans are crying about not having Ayew, by the way, all over Twitter. Wow, interesting. They could do with him, I think. They could do with a player like that. The second half against Saints gave me the feeling that Cooper gave up and will play the way we played last year. That the players fans want. We 100% undoubtedly moved more towards it. There's no question. In the second half against Southampton, we leaned slightly more towards it. So the question is, will that continue? Or will we just revert back to what we've seen over the past few weeks since Steve Cooper came to the club? I'm not saying it's been all bad. And like I've said time and time again, I do not mind whatsoever backing off a little bit on Steve Cooper, not being so intense, not being so critical of him. We've won back-to-back games. You have to give credit where it's due, and the credit is well and truly due with back-to-back wins. That doesn't mean as fans you can't be concerned for the future. I do think that long-term, Steve Cooper should not be the manager of this football club past this season. If he keeps us up, I think it's a good achievement, but is he the man to take us forward? I don't think so. Look at Forest. He kept Forest up. There should be big, big hype at the end of that first season. Yes, we stayed in the Premier League after however many years. We're newly promoted team. We've stayed up. And then what happened? They didn't progress. They didn't progress one bit. The second season began just like the first season. It was horrible football. They barely got any wins. And, people would say they had a bit of craziness with their transfer window. They brought in some players, too many players. Look, managers moan if they get players. They moan if they don't. This is it. But again, I will say credit where it's due. Right now, he is doing enough as we speak to stay up. I still don't think it's massively sustainable with how we've been playing, but time will tell. If we win tomorrow, does it mean Cooper is safe for the rest of the season? Personally, Zaid, I think it does. I'm not saying it should. I think it does. Henry says we only need 9 wins and 8 draws or so. It's 2 out of 9. I'll be happy to just see a flat back 4 if we can see both Mavs and Fats. Yeah, for me, I agree, mate. I agree completely. But look, I know we did score predictions last night at the end of Fox's Den. I would very much appreciate if you start getting your score predictions in again right now, please. It'd be much appreciated. Start getting your Leicester Forest score predictions in, and we will see what everyone thinks. Also, I will remind people, if you haven't seen already, something big's happening in 6 minutes. We are on Forest Fan TV and Blue Tinted Glasses. I am live again in 4 minutes. 5 minutes, guys. I'm live again in 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere. This stream will end and the new stream will begin exactly where you are. You don't need to adjust your TV sets. We will be live in 5 minutes, and it will be a stream co-streamed by Forest Fan TV, Wolfie, and we will be doing a 4v4. It's me, it's Ragsy, it's Anil from For Fox's Sake TV, and it's Lee Chappie. And it's us 4 versus 4 stinky little Forest fans. There we go. Crying about the 2 stars on their shirt. Sanor says, want to Ricardo with Wink, Buonanotte, Ndidi, Mavididi, Fatawu, Vardy, full team. Reese says 1-0, Abdul off the bench to score. Scarlett says Desmond 2-2. Clibo says 1-1. Craig says 2-1 City. Henry Ward says 2-1 Leicester. Dallas Foxes says 1-0 Foxes. And there we go. As I said, we are live again on this channel and a few other channels in literally 5 minutes' time. The Cooper Derby, a big 4v4. Myself, Ragsy, Chappie, and Anil versus 4 Forest fans. Clemo says, I think 2-2, and it's a good result. Reese, as we said just a second ago, 1-0 Abdul off the bench to score. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched this stream. Please hit the like button as well. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I really do appreciate every single one of you that have been in the comment section this evening. Cheers to you as well, Zay, just for being here. Once again, don't go anywhere. We are live in 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, we are live. So don't go anywhere. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Bye-bye. Jamie Vardy's in, he's going to be a goal!